Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 790 The Ticket. You hear the theme there. Very excited to be joined by good old JR. The great Jim Ross joins us in studio. JR, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Were you tuned in last night to the old college football championship?
Yes, I was. I watched most of the second half from the bar at Morton's.
Oh, there we go.
That's big dogging it, ain't it? I just throw that out there.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I actually had some food, but I did drink a little bit.
Good for you.
That's why I'm having this water this morning. I'm dehydrated. But that LSU's some bad boys now.
Yeah, they really are. We've been saying this, like this Joe Burrow. He went and broke football. It was crazy.
How there could be a debate over who Cincinnati's going to take their first draft pick is such a waste of time.
We were just having a conversation of we have the Dolphins have 3 first-round draft picks.
Right.
Would you trade all 3 and the 5th pick? We have one of the picks is the 5th pick. Would you trade all 3 to go up to number 1 to get Joe Burrow?
Well, we all know, guys, what a quarterback means to a football team.
Yep.
At any level.
Right.
You got to have it. It's not an option. It's not optional. Hell, I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna get my franchise guy, my next Marino. That's going to be my guy for 10 years, God willing, with health, and try to win some championships. But you can't win championships. You can't win without a quarterback.
Well, everybody knows you're a huge Oklahoma guy, and Baker Mayfield. This was a big year because Leroy, a proud Browns alum, he said it was different up there this year with the expectations.
Yeah.
What did you think of Baker's second year in the NFL with all the challenges he had to deal with?
Well, he didn't have a good second year, obviously.
Yeah.
And I love the kid. You know, he's I got a personal relationship with him. We're friends. I stood beside him on the sideline at OU games when he was redshirting. So you get to know somebody when you're just hanging around him and talking football while the game's ongoing. He's got to mature a little bit, no doubt. He got married, changed his life changed.
Yeah.
He got a chance to go make some massive money on those commercials, this, that, and the other, which all 3 of us would have done in a heartbeat.
Oh, of course.
I'm in. My hands up.
He's at every break. Every break we got.
Every break.
We got Baker Mayfield just letting us know what's going down with Allstate.
And it's like a wrestler. If you're overexposed, the audience starts turning on you.
Right.
If you're overexposed in an entertainment entity like NFL or AEW wrestling, you are going to get the audience is going to have a pushback.
That's what's happened. It's kind of happened because everything, you don't get the same opportunities as other quarterbacks to grow, and he still has a process he has to go through. And the second year is usually the toughest because you come out of the gate the first year and people don't know what to expect from you. But then that second year you have to build and you probably don't grow as fast as you did the first year. So what happens is like now we see the commercials. Now we see this and we're like, oh, no, he's not concentrating on football when, all that stuff's done in the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
And so and he talks a lot.
Yeah,
so he's also a quarterback that, you thinking of a humble quarterback. He's not that guy.
Yeah, my boy's chatty.
So you are in town. All Elite Wrestling, AEW, is going to be in town tomorrow night, Wednesday night at the Watsco Center, University of Miami. Can you give us a little bit of the backstory? Because from what I understand, Cody Rhodes, he used to do these shows independently, and then he kind of hooked up with Tony Khan, who's the son of the Jaguars owner, Shad Khan. I'm a Jaguars fan, so I've kind of been watching this from the outskirts of it, but it's blown up. Like the idea of you guys, you're now on TNT, Wednesday Night Dynamite. It really seems like the first true contender that could go up against WWE from a TV standpoint, from a bankroll standpoint. What has been your experience with this whole blossoming of a new wrestling promotion?
It's been really positive. And, I've been in the wrestling business since 1974. I was only 3, but no, I'm kidding. I'm an old bastard. I just had my 68th birthday, and I'm still at it. I love it.
Good for you, man.
Well, retire and do what? That's what I say. What are you going to retire, JR, and do what? I don't own a fishing pole or a gun or golf clubs. What am I going to retire and do? I got to go acquire all these things to retire. But it's like working. In my vision is working for AEW and Tony Khan is like working for a expansion football team. We got a few guys on our roster that are veterans that have been to the big game, like Chris Jericho, John Moxley, among others.
Yeah.
And then we got a bunch of young, crazy son of guns that have made $25 or $50 a night working the indie circuit, but they have built a little body of work. They just need direction. They need coaching.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got those kids to migrate in with the veterans, and it's really become an interesting little mix. The veterans are pushing themselves a little harder because the young guys are more agile, they're faster, they fly higher. Everything is they're up, they're there. So it's been great for me, man. I'm the oldest guy on the team. I'm the oldest guy there. That doesn't bother me. My ego's cool, but I love playing it forward. I went from making $25 a day, pulling the ring truck, the trailer, putting the ring up, refereeing, ring announcing, before I got this nice gig of being able to be a commentator.
Yeah.
So that was where I wanted to get to all along. It just took a little longer to get there. But I love this deal. It's an energetic, enthusiastic, very athletic show.
It's a lot of energy. Holy smokes.
And I'd love for you guys to come and experience it, because here's what's fun about it. I say this, and I really truly mean it. Watching the audience at a pro wrestling event when they're emotionally invested is one of the most entertaining things you can do, I'm telling you, because they are dead ass serious, man.
It's pretty bananas to see Chris Jericho, who's done it all in the business. What has been, I guess, his enthusiasm towards this? Because he's been to the absolute tops, but he's got this new project of taking a promotion kind of on his back as one of the most recognizable names there. As a guy he's like you've been doing it for a while, has he been reinvigorated by this?
Yeah, I think so. I hired Chris to come to WWE back in the day. He was at WCW. And Jerry Briscoe, a great Floridian, an Oklahoman, a native Oklahoman, and I recruited him, and I paid him a lot less money than he was making, but that's how much confidence he had in his ability, because our pay system was a little different. You got a real good downside guarantee, but you were paid on productivity. More tickets sold, more money you make. More pay-per-view sold, more money you make. More merch, more T-shirts, blah, blah, blah. So he came in and blew the numbers away. But he had courage. And I call him the Reverend of Reinvention. That son of a gun is he has a lot of wrestlers get their routines. It's like a comedian,
right?
The same joke set. I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to go to here, and blah, blah, blah. Well, he's just he has courage. He's willing to change. He's willing to change with the times, and he just headlined a show that did 40,000 people in Tokyo a weekend before last. So our guys are in demand. And John Moxley is who the big issue is with Jericho, and he's a hungry guy that was on a part of the Shield at WWE back in the day with Dean Ambrose. So he's wrestling for us. So we got young, hungry guys and guys that want to prove something. Moxley didn't have any opportunity in WWE, nor does any of them pretty much, on what plays are going to be run. Here's what we're doing today. Oh, okay. Whether you like it or not. They don't say that, but they infer it. Here, everybody has a hand in their own creative.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We don't have any writers. We don't have any. McMahon's probably got 30, 40 writers.
And everything's scheduled to a T there.
Well, it's a TV entity, period. We're trying to have a little bit more, add a little bit of seasoning of sports content, athleticism.
Is it tough for these guys who are going from a situation of doing all the house shows and doing the live stuff to going to live TV? Like, what is the challenges that go there with doing a television show?
Good question and good point. The guys that have a lot of these kids have never done a TV match. They've just gone to the VFW hall, picked up their $50, did all kinds of crazy stuff, flip-flops and flies, going through tables and chairs and all that stuff, and without any coaching. You don't need to do that much. You adjust your game and last longer.
Right.
Don't be lazy. Adjust your game. Be smart. So a lot of these kids have never done TV matches. So every week we see improvement on some of these young guys that are just starting to get it. We got guys 22, 23 years old. I got ties that old. It's just crazy, man. So the enthusiasm of what we're doing, our owner is a piece of work. He's amazing. Tony Khan, I'm speaking of, and he's been a major fan his entire life, not just lately. It's not some get-rich-quick money deal. They own the Fulham Football Club in England. They own the Jags. They own all kinds of stuff. Somebody said to me on Twitter, being a wise ass, says, you see that a lot on Twitter. You guys know that. So I said, they said, what are you going to do when McMahon comes and raise your talent? And because he's got the money to do it. I said, well, last I looked, his net worth was $2.3 billion, McMahon.
Oh, he ain't even close to the Khans.
Not the Khans.
$8.2
billion. I said, I got a 3-year guaranteed deal with the Khan family. So We're not worried about what McMahon does, and I try to tell our young guys that too. They think because NXT's on Wednesday nights on USA, because McMahon put them there to block our growth.
Right.
It wasn't a strategic. Oh well, we were been planning on. I'm sorry.
It's all right. We can take care of that. Don't worry.
It was just crazy. So I'm a big believer in Tony Khan, the Khan family. It's not a get rich quick deal, and I think we're going to do really well.
Sounds like everybody's having a blast.
We're having fun, man.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, look, for me to get, I don't need this job. I'm lucky. I lost my wife 2 years ago in a terrible accident, right turning into our home. She was coming home from the gym. She was a brick house, man. God, she was a former gymnast, 10 years younger than me. Full-blooded Italian. I had a maid voice. I had a maid, I'm telling you. She could cook, and she was hot. And we had 25 great years together. This guy ran over on his phone. He's looking at his phone, topped the hill, boom.
Jeez.
And I drive by that same spot every day going home because it's right by where we turn in to go to our house. And life changed for me. And so I needed something. I needed to get out of the house. I felt like Howard Hughes or somebody. I was looking down to see if my fingernails had got real long, with that legend of Howard Hughes being the hermit. And I didn't want to shave. I didn't even wear my watch. So I put my watch on one day. Hell, I'm 20 days past wearing it. I didn't care. Then I met Tony, and I was his voice. I was the voice of his childhood. He told me. I said, "Boy, have I got a deal for you?" So we worked it out and signed a 3-year deal, and I'm loving it. For me to get on an airplane every week, see, we don't do any reruns.
Right.
I got my big ass has got to get out of the bed, pack up, and go, man. So, and I don't like that. It gives me a destination. And fellas, we all need in our life, no matter our age,
You need purpose.
we need purpose.
Absolutely.
Right.
We need a direction.
Absolutely.
And we need destinations. We all know what the eventual destination is going to be for all of us. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to postpone that one as long as I can, but I need a destination. I need to be around other people. And so this AEW thing with all these young kids, they're bright. They're literally bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I love it. And the folks that come tomorrow night, and we got tickets start at $20.
Yep.
We're not robbing you. We're going to give you a night of family entertainment for $20.
Well, if you guys want to go, AEW is going to be at the Watsco Center, University of Miami. Do you have a few more minutes with this, Jared? Do you mind if we just take a quick break?
I'm good, man.
All right, great. We'll be back with more with the great JR right after this. All right, we're back here on The Ticket. Tobin and Leroy here with you. The great Jim Ross joins in studio. Good old JR. He is in town with AEW. He's going to be at the Watsco Center tomorrow night, University of Miami. Guys, get your tickets now. It's going to be an absolute awesome show. They're on TV. Wednesday night, Dynamite going down. Chris Jericho is going to be in the building. I hear DDP is going to be making a comeback, too. I think I've been hearing that on the advertisements.
He's making the media rounds tomorrow, or maybe today. He's 60-something. But he's a yoga guy. He's really done this yoga thing to whereas he can move around like a normal human now after all those years of because he didn't start wrestling until he was like in his mid-30s. So his body took a hell of a beating in a place where he couldn't hardly.
And he's taking guys in too, right? Like, hasn't he taken guys in to try and to rehab their bodies?
Yeah. Well, he got Scott Hall off drugs and alcohol to some degree, and there were others. Jake the Snake, Jake Roberts, had issues, couldn't kick the demons. And they went to live with Dallas, and Dallas straightened their ass up. And he got them on losing weight and doing yoga and feeling better. They've had more self-esteem. Gosh, isn't it funny how that works?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep. Once you make a commitment to yourself, you start feeling better.
That's right.
So, Jay, I want to ask you about this. So we were big fight fans on the show. We got Conor McGregor coming up this week, and he's making his return. Mm-hmm. There's been some talk about if he ever left fighting, could he make it as a wrestler? You're a guy who's scouted great talent. You've signed guys like Brock Lesnar before, all types of kind of talent. What do you like? Do you think a guy like that could succeed in pro wrestling just because of the personality, even if he doesn't have that crazy big size?
Yes.
And what is that X factor that you look for in one of these guys?
He's got the X factor. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can smell it or feel it, or what color it is. It's just that intangible. And Conor McGregor is the kind of guy you can't take your eyes off of. Either the greatest villains in wrestling are the villains that you as a fan are willing to pay to leave your home, go park, buy a ticket, get an overpriced concession item.
To boo him.
And to watch him get his ass whipped.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's unbelievable.
Right. I mean, how long have they been doing that with Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Everybody plays to see Floyd get his ass whipped.
It ain't happened yet.
One of the nicest guys one of the nicest guys I've met in sports.
Yeah, he did WrestleMania against the Big Show, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I call that man. I call the incident that went into it, and that's when he bat, and hit the Big Show so many times so fast it broke his nose.
Whoa.
And it pissed him off. I mean, he was an angry big boy, and he bellowed like a wild animal, and chased Floyd and his bodyguards. The bodyguards were running faster than Floyd. They didn't want to deal with this big dude. He was irate, man. This is not part of the show. So, but Floyd's a pretty decent guy. But Conor can make it because, now I'm not saying on a weekly deal or a regular, no. One-off, like a WrestleMania-like event,
Right.
Yeah.
he could do. They thought Ronda Rousey was going to do a one-off, and she liked it,
Yeah.
and she got real good at it, and she stayed a year or so there. And, she's trying to have a child, and so she has a farm, and she's got all the money that she'll ever need. So, and I'm sure she'll come back and do some wrestling at some point in time. The personality is the bottom line. That's what's going to carry the illusion of the fight, the play fight of pro wrestling into to make you buy a ticket or a pay-per-view.
So what was the thing that was the X factor in getting Cody Rhodes to want to help get with the cons and make it? Because I know that they were doing some independent shows that did a lot of sellouts and whatnot, and he wasn't, he left the WWE, kind of had this whole American Nightmare from his dad's spin-off, the American Dream gimmick. How did he go into this, and what made him think that he was going to do something that is going to compete with the WWE?
Well, several years ago, I was doing a live show for Access TV, Mark Cuban's network, with New Japan, and we had not a double header. We had two days, a Saturday and a Sunday in Long Beach that we televised. Tony Khan, such a big fan that he has a home in L.A., a home in Chicago, and a home in Jacksonville. But he brought Alex Marvez, NFL writer,
right?
Sirius XM, their NFL guy.
Used to cover the Dolphins.
Yeah. Alex was a good friend of mine. So I met him at our hotel because they were just going to the event as fans, and we got to talking. And Tony, he had dropped these little hints occasionally, inadvertently, I think, that someday I might want to try this, not wrestle, but to own a promotion.
Yeah.
And so then the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, who'll all be on the show tomorrow night, and Cody, all got together, and they pitched Tony Khan that, hey, we're ready to do this. We're ready to be partners. We're ready to be, they're all 4 EVPs. I don't know what that means, but nonetheless, they got nice titles. So everybody needs a title, boys. So
people like the belts.
Yeah. So then all this time later, Tony always had the idea. It was always Tony Khan's dream to do this.
Yeah.
He finally found some players to put on his team that could produce, and they had sold tons and tons and tons of merchandise. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Cody, to some degree, are products of social media.
Right.
Social media it will make you or break you in our world, and it sure as hell made those guys. So they were the first 4 guys that Tony hired about a year ago. This company's not even a year. It's about a year old now. That's about it.
Is it typical that you have those legacy guys like the son of Dusty Rhodes and I think both of them are both in the promotion? Is that typical that these stay within the family a lot of the times?
It's not unusual because the deal is you can trust them. You can trust your brother. You can trust your guy that you've been to the foxhole with, and a lot of these guys have the same agenda. They felt like they were mismanaged in WWE. They felt like that they were not given the creative freedom to create their own character. They have some kid, the first or second job out of college, writing their promos as if, and most of those kids had never been in a fight. They had no idea about personal struggles. Mm-hmm. They're entitled. They're a cute little let's play wrestling. And you get to the wrestler or an athlete, they don't want to play wrestling. They're an athlete, and that was always my success. I hired Lesnar and Cena and Batista and Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin in one class. I also hired Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist,
right,
and Edge and Christian, and a lot of Hall of Fame guys. But they all wanted to be treated as athletes, not I'm a play fighter. Okay, if you want to piss them off, because they're stunt men, but they're taking their own bumps.
Yeah,
they don't have any stunt doubles.
No, it's a beating.
Yeah, and your bodies are just not made for that. There's no off season.
Right.
So now with our schedule, our guys come to work on Tuesday. They get here on Tuesday, and they'll work on Wednesday, and they're done. They can heal their injuries. They can work out. They can work on their bodies. They get stronger. It's a great thing for wrestling.
So you just do it like once a week?
Right now, yeah. They're somewhere down the road, I believe that they certainly will do live events, non-televised live events. Right now, we're just trying to get our brand established, our stars established. Without, we're in prime time. Our show will be on the air tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, 8 to 10, 2 hours live. Boom, boom, boom. No net, no excuses, no do-overs, no retakes. Here we go. And I love that. That's an adrenaline rush, man.
Is there one guy like getting the chance to tell all these new stories in this promotion? Is there a certain young guy coming up that you think like, man, this guy's got it?
Yeah, we got Darby Allin, small kid. Darby Allin reminds me of a young Jeff Hardy, and the Hardy Boys back in the day were a big thing for WWE.
What they would pull off, Leroy. Those are the guys who they wouldn't hold back anything, JR. They'd jump off whatever.
Yeah, well, they were fearless, and Jeff's had some issues, but nonetheless, Darby Allin reminds me of a young Jeff Hardy. I was talking to somebody last night about Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, they call him. Jungle Boy Jack Perry is the son of the late Luke Perry of 90210 fame.
Oh, okay.
A good-looking kid. He's single. The women love him. So there's a half your battle right there. So when he's getting beat up, they're crying. They're loving it, man. They're squirming in their seat. And then when old Jungle Boy Jack gets it on a roll, oh, yeah, baby. So we got several young guys. They're 22. They're 23.
Right.
Hell, some of them are
great way to start.
Is that fun for you? Is that fun for you too, as a broadcaster, again, to tell these new stories, having that fresh coat of paint for yourself?
Absolutely. It's new material. It's new material. It's like it's like you guys have another sport to be able to report on. You guys adding MMA to your repertoire, what things you like to discuss, is something that a lot of guys in sports talk that I'm aware of, they don't venture into. You got to study it a little bit. So therefore, I know radio guys, if they don't have the USA Today, they're screwed because they ain't gonna do no prep.
When's the last time you read a USA Today?
Yeah.
Never, exactly.
Well, seriously, their laziness doesn't get you anywhere. So I love the fact, you mentioned the Conor McGregor thing. You guys are MMA fans. Hey, they're going to make a ton of money on that this week.
Oh, I can't wait.
And a lot of people are going to want to see him get his ass whipped because he's mouthy.
Right.
But here's the thing about that. Here's what happens. Let me tell you what's going to happen there. There'll be a time when there will be a paradigm shift. That's John Moxley's DDT, paradigm shift. And it will be where people are going to start feeling for Conor. Oh, he got beat up.
And they want to see the comeback.
Bingo. Yep.
Then you got to see the comeback.
Bingo.
Yep.
And Dana White just keeps making that money.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check out AEW tomorrow night at the Watsco Center. Wednesday night, Dynamite Bash at the Beach is going down. Jim Ross, thanks so much for spending time with us this hour.
Man,
really appreciate it. It was a real
really
thrill.
Fellas, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on.